pretty much shared this here, and I wanted to share it here with you guys. Then we're going to go over the article here in a hot second. So it stated, Mike stated, breaking, Fee Collier double downs that Cathy Englebert made those comments about Caitlin Clark endorsement money. The fact is, Cathy watched what was happening to Caitlin Clark last season, and from the looks of it, did little to stop her. She should be replaced. He's referring back to the assault that Caitlin Clark took from, we already know, DJ.
Recent developments suggest tension continues brewing between WNBA Commissioner Cathy Englebert and star rookie Caitlin Clark, with Minnesota Lynx forward Napheesa Collier refusing to back away from her earlier accusations against the league's top executive. Collier has reaffirmed her position that Englebert made inappropriate remarks concerning Clark's endorsement earnings, standing firm despite the commissioner's denials. The situation stems from alleged private conversations where Englebert supposedly discussed Clark's financial situation in unfavorable terms. According to reports circulating on social media, Collier maintains the commissioner should be removed from her position, particularly given her apparent inaction when Clark faced repeated physical confrontations throughout the season. The incidents included notable aggressive plays from DJ Carrington and another player whose shove became widely discussed across basketball communities.
Clark took from, we already know, DJ Carrington. Can't forget about these assaults, guys. Who else? What's the young lady name that's not in the league? I don't know her damn name, but she did the push that was heard from around the world. Yes, her ass. But it goes on. This is what the article stated. It said, for her to start off her speech saying she has the utmost respect for me and for the players, and then turn around and call me a liar 3 minutes later, denying words.
In Collier's own words addressing the situation, she expressed frustration about the commissioner's approach during their meeting. She pointed out the contradiction of someone claiming respect while simultaneously denying statements that were allegedly heard directly. Collier characterized this behavior as demonstrating a fundamental absence of responsibility and declined to elaborate further on the matter. The controversy gained additional attention when examining Englebert's previous public statements regarding Clark's compensation structure. During an earlier interview, the commissioner detailed how Clark's WNBA salary could reach approximately $500,000 when including various bonuses and incentives, not merely the base collectively bargained amount.
Later, denying words that I heard come straight out of her mouth, Collier stated, I think it just speaks to the lack of accountability. And so I really have nothing further to say. Now, that is Napheesa Collier speaking about WNBA Commissioner Cathy Englebert in a recent article that has been released. And yes, we have the article. Let's go over the article right now. So this is the article that has come out that found
Englebert emphasized that Clark secured substantial endorsement deals worth millions, with her professional status actually enhancing the value of these commercial agreements. The commissioner suggested Clark gained access to international marketing opportunities beyond domestic platforms, predicting financial success for the rookie comparable to other elite athletes. Englebert also referenced the WNBA's relative youth as a league compared to established men's professional sports organizations. One particularly controversial moment from that interview involved Englebert's repeated mention of injury possibilities when discussing league dynamics. When questioned about frequently bringing up other rookies alongside Clark, the commissioner stated that no sports league revolves around a single athlete because that individual could suffer an injury at any time.
This is the article that has come out that found this new groundbreaking information, man. So basically, Napheesa Collier is calling Cathy a liar. So Minnesota Lynx Napheesa Collier, sorry about that, tongue twister. WNBA Commissioner Cathy Englebert was supposed to meet this week, which we already know that they ain't. Now, the most noteworthy moments came from when she aired out several now infamous remarks that Cathy Englebert privately talked about Caitlin Clark money.
She reiterated this point multiple times, suggesting the league needed to recognize multiple talents for compelling storylines and competitive rivalries. These comments have drawn criticism for appearing to dismiss concerns about Clark's safety, especially considering the physical play she endured throughout the season. Clark did ultimately sustain an injury during the year, and viewership numbers reportedly declined significantly following her reduced playing time, contradicting theories that the league could maintain audience interest without its biggest draw. Speculation has intensified regarding Englebert's job security. Unconfirmed reports from sources close to the situation suggest the commissioner's tenure may be limited.
Money, all those things there. Now, we reported on this earlier. That is Nafisa Collier actually talking about Cathy doing this Camilla Harris thing, which I think was very stupid for her to do that, but whatever. But I'm telling you right now, I definitely believe that Cathy said those things, because we have to remember this. We have to remember this right
Clarify
here.
first, because it's proxy season, right?
Allegedly, Clark maintains direct communication channels with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, potentially bypassing the WNBA's organizational structure. These same sources claim replacement candidates are already being considered, with the expectation that Englebert's successor would be another female executive rather than a male appointment. The situation highlights ongoing debates about how the WNBA handles its marquee talents, player safety protocols, and executive accountability. Collier's willingness to publicly challenge Englebert's version of events represents an unusual level of player-commissioner conflict in women's professional basketball. Whether these tensions lead to actual organizational changes remains uncertain, though the controversy has sparked widespread discussion about leadership effectiveness and the league's treatment of its most prominent stars.
It's proxy season, right? No CEO, do you just put the base pay in there? You put their bonus, you put their stock options, you put everything. Caitlin has the ability to make up to $500,000 just in WNBA wages this year. So, of course, they're just looking at a base which is collectively bargained. And actually, it's low because she's the number one pick. She'll make a little more than that. But she also has millions and millions of dollars of endorsements. She's actually, because she declared to become pro, her endorsements are higher in dollar value. She has a global platform now, not just a U.S. platform. So
the broader implications extend beyond individual personalities to questions about institutional culture within the WNBA. Critics argue the league failed to adequately protect its most marketable player from excessive physical play, potentially damaging both Clark's health and the sport's commercial prospects. Supporters of reform point to declining television ratings and attendance figures as evidence that the WNBA's success remains closely tied to Clark's participation and well-being, regardless of official statements emphasizing collective talent depth. As this situation continues developing, observers anticipate further revelations about the relationship between league leadership and its players, particularly regarding how executive decisions impact both competitive integrity and business outcomes. The confrontation between Collier and Englebert has exposed fault lines in the organization that may require significant adjustments to address underlying concerns about transparency, player advocacy, and strategic vision for the league's future growth.
She has a global platform now, not just a U.S. platform. So she's going to do just fine, as will the top players in the league, as every league does. Also, there's comparisons to the men. Those men's leagues are 75 to 120 years old. We're tipping off our 28th season. I would say if you looked at them 28 seasons in, we're further ahead. But I realize we still have a lot of work to do. And it's all about the ecosystem. Clarify first, because
Or how about this? Because everybody forgets about this.
I noticed when you're asking about
the ongoing conflict between WNBA Commissioner Cathy Englebert and the Players Association continues to escalate, with no resolution in sight. This situation has generated considerable attention, largely because the league typically doesn't experience this level of public controversy. The drama has provided substantial material for discussion throughout the basketball community. Recent developments suggest that Union Representative Nneka Ogwumike acted independently when making certain statements, which actually benefits the Players Association overall. If her actions were unauthorized rather than coordinated, it allows the union leadership to distance themselves from any potential fallout.
This, because everybody forgets about this.
I noticed when you're asking about Caitlin a lot, you bring up other rookies as well.
No league's ever about one player. That player could get hurt or whatever. So I think it's just to give recognition that.
Is it me? But out the gate, didn't it sound like Cathy wanted Caitlin to get hurt? Don't it seem like a lot of these people actually wanted Caitlin Clark to get hurt? Now, we know ultimately what happened this year. What happened this year? Caitlin ultimately got hurt, right? So if Caitlin gets hurt, what happens to the league? See, what they thought was going to happen was that Caitlin
This scenario proves far more manageable than having to defend a deliberately planned strategy that backfired. The central issue generating the most criticism involves financial disclosure. Multiple sources reported that athletes struggled during collective bargaining agreement negotiations because they lacked access to comprehensive financial information about league operations. This became one of the most damaging allegations against the organization's leadership. Commissioner Engelbert responded to these accusations through a league representative, stating that claims about inadequate financial disclosure are completely inaccurate.
We still got to talk about this. However, Cathy Englebert, if you guys don't know, Fee and everybody was reporting on certain things, and one of the sticking points everyone kind of agreed on, looked bad in the WNBA, was the argument that players basically got they weren't able to negotiate properly because they had no idea what the money of the finance of the league. And in Cathy Englebert has said here,
according to official statements, the organization annually provides the Players Association with audited financial records, detailed revenue reports, and comprehensive calculations showing how revenue sharing gets determined. Additionally, the union possesses contractual rights to conduct independent audits of league finances whenever they choose. However, this explanation raises significant questions. The skepticism stems from how the organization handled financial reporting during the previous season. Specifically, the widely discussed $40 million deficit wasn't announced at season's end as many assumed.
And in Cathy Engelbert has said here, the notion that the WNBA doesn't provide the data supporting the CBA's annual revenue sharing calculation is simply false, a WNBA spokesperson said. Each year, the league provides the Players Association with an audited financial statement of the league revenue and a report detailing the resulting revenue sharing calculations. The union also has the right to independently audit the league every year. Look, this sounds kind of bullshit. And if you're wondering why I'm saying this sounds kind of bullshit, the reason why I think this sounds bullshit.
Instead, this figure was released unusually early, around May or June of the previous year, well before the season concluded. At that point, nobody could accurately predict final ticket sales, sponsorship revenues, or other income streams. The timing makes it appear the number was essentially arbitrary rather than based on actual complete financial data. Similar patterns have emerged repeatedly when examining league financial communications. Sources with connections to those familiar with internal operations have indicated that monetary figures released by the organization often seem imprecise or speculative.
The reason why I think this sounds bullshit is because they reported the $40 million losses in May of last year. The $40 million losses, they were actually reported. They weren't actually reported later on in the year. A lot of people thought that was something that was reported, at the end of the year and stuff. No, it wasn't. That was something that was in fact reported in...
While these aren't direct insider sources, information comes from individuals close enough to league operations to have credible insight. Even before current collective bargaining discussions began, athletes were reportedly frustrated about financial transparency issues. This wasn't a new complaint that suddenly emerged during recent negotiations. It represented a long-standing concern among players. The credibility gap widens when considering Commissioner Engelbert's previous statements that proved false. She publicly suggested the Mohegan Sun Tribe was evaluating their options regarding team ownership.
That was in fact reported in May or June of last year. It was reported early in the season, real early in the season, that the WNBA just weren't going to do anything, that the WNBA was losing $50 million. That was reported so early in the season that they had no idea what was going to happen. They had no idea what was going to happen throughout the season. It was a revenue thing that was reported early. No one knew what was price going to be, ticket sales, anything. That was just written.
In reality, the league administration blocked their attempted sale not once but twice. When leadership demonstrably provides inaccurate information, it becomes reasonable to question other official statements. Given this track record, there's justification for giving athletes the benefit of the doubt in this dispute. While it's possible certain exact phrases attributed to the commissioner regarding Caitlin Clark weren't spoken verbatim, the substance and implications were likely conveyed.
Price going to be ticket sales, anything. That was just written. It was just written. So there have been so many times, like, when it comes to these when it comes to the league, where the players can't keep lying, and for this to be a thing, like, I've heard from people kind of in the know that the money with the WNBA has absolutely just been has not only
The commissioner apparently believes she deserves recognition as the face of the league rather than the athletes themselves. This contrasts sharply with how David Stern approached NBA leadership. Stern understood that Michael Jordan, not the commissioner, was the essential ingredient for league growth. He recognized the star player as the key asset and received recognition as an exceptional sports administrator because he facilitated that star's success.
has been just a number thrown out. I've heard from people that are way closer to the league than I am. Like, yes, I don't have sources, but I've got, like, people I speak to that have sources. Like, sources have sources, if you get me. And for me, anyway, like, I'm, like, maybe 1 degree of separation away from actual sources when it comes to this whole thing. So I'm normally 1 degree of separation away, probably 2 degrees of separation away from players a lot of the time. So, to be fair, it's most of us are probably 2 degrees.
The current WNBA leadership seems to want credit without embracing this fundamental principle.
So, to be fair, it's most of us are probably 2 degrees. If you've ever interacted with Ken Swift, you're probably 3 degrees of separation from Caitlin fucking Clark. So that's not the flex you think it is. But as far as I'm aware, there was no even before CBA talks, this was something that players have been talking about, and this was kind of a sticking point. This was kind of a sticking point in general. So I do think that somebody's lying. And
regarding who's being truthful in this dispute, it seems unlikely the Players Association would fabricate claims that could be easily disproven with documentation. If the league truly provides complete financial transparency as claimed, they could simply release those audits publicly and settle the matter immediately. The fact that both parties have been less than truthful at various points makes determining accuracy challenging. However, even acknowledging complications on both sides, there's no logical reason to support billionaire ownership over workers in a labor dispute.
He's lying, and I stand by this. It seems a lot like, as time's going on, because, again, Cathy Englebert blamed the Mohegan Sun tribe, basically said the Mohegan Sun tribe are weighing up their options. No, you literally vetoed their sale. You vetoed their sale twice. They tried to sell it twice, and you vetoed their sale. So, like, Cathy Englebert has been on record lying. So I think, until proven otherwise, you believe the players, I guess? You believe the players?
This holds especially true when these wealthy owners could liquidate their investment and profit substantially despite any operational losses. Even if individual franchises lost $10 million annually, any ownership group selling today would realize significant gains from the sale price. Team valuations have increased dramatically, meaning every owner maintains a profitable position regardless of yearly operating results. The fundamental economics make it clear which side deserves support in this disagreement.